by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to win all your 1v1s against any defender. Without further ado, let's get started. Firstly, we need to understand the purpose of a 1v1, and you have to know when to dribble and pass or a flashy run. The main goal for the attacker is to get the ball into a dangerous area where their team can score. What I want you to understand is that you don't always have to beat your man. Let's take Salah's goal against Rangers as an example. We can see the defender backing off here, which allows Mo Salah to shoot the ball in a more dangerous position, which ultimately leads to a goal. Or Cole Palmer here, who instead of trying to dribble past the defender, waits for the pass into Jackson, which brings Chelsea into a more dangerous position. But there are times when dribbling is the better option, which is what I'm going to teach you today. The first fundamental of a successful dribble is to attack your man and not the space. Now you might be wondering what this exactly means. When you're watching the likes of Robin, Salah, Neymar and Mbappe, they're all very direct in a 1-versus-1 scenario. If we take this clip of Mbappe as an example, we see him run directly at the defender, which leaves Mbappe with 2 ways to go as opposed to 1 if he ran into the space. Now he exploits this by cutting inside and faking a shot, which leaves the defender's hips turned, allowing Mbappe to go outside. When I say attack your man, you should specifically attack the front foot. Why? Because it means you can go left or right. Most amateur players will focus on where the space is and knock the ball wherever it is, but this is not what great wingers do. If you run straight at your man's front foot, you are in complete control. And there's one player who does this brilliantly, Arjen Robben. Every single time he faced a defender, he would always cut inside and shoot, and it worked every time. Why is it that no one could stop him? Because he runs straight at his man and the defender will keep backing off, but at some point he will have to engage, otherwise Robben will get too close to goal. And at the right time, Robben will cut inside and shoot it in the far corner where the goalkeeper can't reach it. The one thing you shouldn't do is attack the space. That is exactly what your opponent wants you to do and will set their body in a way to show you down the line where the most space is. If you go down the line, they will be able to control you and you will be less of a threat. Another tip I have for you is to focus your eyes on the front foot. So if the defender commits to a tackle, you can explode out away from the defender with a momentum advantage. When they stay patient and don't immediately try to engage, you should utilize quick changes of direction to get your opponent off balance. The second fundamental is the ability to keep the ball while dribbling. This is so important because constantly losing the ball will make you less reliable as a player and your teammates will pass to you less. So in order to avoid this, I'm going to go over a few ways on how great dribblers ensure they always maintain possession. The first thing you must do is to keep the ball close to you, especially in tight spaces. Now, while this may seem extremely obvious, it can make a huge difference to your game. This skill of keeping the ball close to you is the reason why defenders jockey in the first place. Keeping the ball close to your feet makes it harder for the defender to get the ball off you, as it's easier for you to move the ball away from their leg. However, you can take a bigger touch if there is a lot of space around the defender. Another thing that professional players do is that they use their body to protect the ball. When they're in tight situations, they like to get their body in between the ball and the defender to shield the ball away from them. You can do this if you're being pressured from behind in a situation like this. Or if you're in a direct 1v1 and you're exploding out, you can take touches with your foot furthest away from the defender to increase the distance between them and the ball. Combine this with a step over their leg and you'll increase your chances of keeping the ball dramatically. Also remember to always scan before receiving, otherwise you will get tackled from behind. One final thing I want to mention is that you can't execute any of this without a good first touch. If you haven't mastered it already, then check the link I left in the description after this video. The next fundamental we're going to cover is exploding out. This is one of the most important fundamentals to winning your 1v1s because how you do it can affect the outcome of your dribble. If you exploded out a moment too early or a moment too late, then it would lead to the defender tackling you, which is why you need to get your timing on point. To time the moment you explode out correctly, you have to look for the cues of when the defender is off balance. The first cue you need to look out for is if the defender's pushing off one way, like you see here. Now would be the right time for Neymar to explode out down the line, as the defender's hips are turned towards the inside of the field. And the second cue to look out for is the defender engaging in for a tackle like you see here. An engaged defender will always be the easiest cue to look out for, and is often the easiest to beat as all you have to do is move the ball away from their leg. But how do you actually get defenders to push off one way or commit to a tackle? And the answer is by using skill moves. But you must not focus on the skill while in a duel, and instead your sole focus should be getting the opponent off balance. Skills should only be done for getting your defender to go the opposite direction, not to look flashy and impress people. Skills like this should only be done in low-risk scenarios, like when your team is winning with only a few minutes left to play. I will be going over the 2 best skill moves that you can easily start doing today. And in each one, I will explain what makes them so effective and how to perform them. The first move you can start doing is the fake shot. This skill move is so effective, especially in the final third, because of how the defenders and goalkeepers react to it. Look what happens when you take a regular shot. Most defenders will go dive into the ground hoping to block the shot. And now, look what happens to the defender when you fake the shot. The defender has been taken completely out of the game. There's one player that is perfect to learn the fake shot from, as he has mastered it. It's none other than Riyad Mahrez. Let's break down how he does it. Firstly, the nearer you are to the goal, the more the defender will react. In the following clip, the defender doesn't react much as Mahrez is unlikely to score from his position. You have to remember that the more a skill move is done, the more predictable it is for the defender. Compared to a scenario like this, where the defender dives in impulsively due to how close the attacker is to the goal. Now we're going to get into how to actually do the fake shot. Before the skill even starts, you have to take a touch that mimics the touch you take when you're about to shoot or cross. Next, do the motion of a regular shot and cut the ball against where the defender is going. If you want to sell the move even more, look at where your target would be if you shot the ball. And remember to raise your arm opposite your shooting leg, like how you would if you shot the ball. Extend your leg forward and not to the side. You can record a video of yourself doing a fake shot to see if you're doing the technique correctly. The second skill move you should start using is the body feint. There's a reason almost every player does this. This is the most used skill move of all time, and players have been doing it ever since the 1800s. It's such a good way to get defenders to shift their weight because they want to naturally follow wherever you go, and the body feint takes advantage of this. There's many different types of feints, but we're going to cover the most simple one, the drop of the shoulder. Although it's a fairly simple skill move to do, there are many fine details that can make your feints look more deceiving. In this clip, there's a lot we can analyze. Messi takes a small step inside and Paul Scholes reacts instantly. Messi drops his shoulder slightly, mimicking a touch inside, and with his left foot he steps inside, keeping it very close to the ball. The closer your foot is to the ball and the faster the feint is done, the more it will deceive the defender. And your hips must be facing the way you want the defender to go, like Messi is doing here. Now the defender is off balance, and Messi is able to escape using a croqueta to avoid the outstretched leg. Let's rewatch it in real time so you can see how fast Messi feints. If you want to do a feint perfectly, the only way to improve is to keep doing them until you get it right. Now that you have the knowledge, we're going to go over how to actually improve. First of all, the only way you can improve is by dribbling more. Now, although it sounds simple, you have to play more football, specifically small-sided games such as futsal or five-a-side. If you do this as much as you can, I can guarantee you will improve. It's literally how players like Ronaldo and Neymar and Ronaldinho got good. That's the one thing I want you to take away from this video. You need to play football to get better. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.